Hi, cutie pies. I am Lanikia, and you are watching What Happened on the Soaps. This is Days of Our Lives edition. Today is Wednesday, December the 20th, 2023. On a scale of 1 to 10, um, I'm going to go ahead and give this one, it was like a 5 for me. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm not going to hold you long on this at all. First of all, we see Andrew and Teresa. Well, Constantine is constantly calling Teresa and she's hanging up on him. So we see Andrew and he talks to Teresa because he's in town. He's just doing a little cameo appearance, I guess. And he tells her John and Steve sent in the a file to my dad, to Shane, to his dad, showing him, asking him, can you look to see who was the person who kidnapped Maggie's granddaughter? And lo and behold, it's you. What are you doing on this? What are you doing on here? What are you doing on the film, on the camera, Teresa? So she spins this story and tells him she was trying to help Constantine because he was trying to have a hero complex and he wanted Maggie to really like him, and so she just wanted to play matchmaker, and that's why she did it. And Andrew said, if somebody else was telling me this, I wouldn't believe him, but because it's you and you do the craziest things, I actually believe you. And she said, okay, so what are you gonna do? And he tells her, I'm not gonna tell Dad. I'm gonna tell them that I couldn't get the information on who it was on the file. But what you need to do is promise me you're going to stay out of trouble. And she promises him she will. He's like, I'm going to be watching you, Teresa. I said, you need to, sir. And that's it with them, y'all. That's pretty much all I have. I told you I'm not going to hold you long on this. So then we go over here and we see, uh, excuse me, that Alex runs into Xander. And of course, Xander has to say something to Alex. So he's telling him that Bella is not doing well. I saw the magazine all over the newsstands. And Alex said, mind your business. He said, well, Maggie got rid of Bella for a reason and you brought it back. And so now we see how it's doing and everything. And Alex just like, you know what, I don't have time for this. And he was like, and you shouldn't have put to Xander tells him you shouldn't have put Teresa over the magazine. And of course he has things to say about Teresa. Alex doesn't want to hear this. And he tells him, you know what, we're gonna all have to get together at Christmas. So we could play nice about this. And Xander says, this is Xander talking to Alex. We could play nice about this because I don't want to ruin this for Maggie. She really wants y'all there. And Alex tells him, listen, as long as you keep your mouth shut, we will play nice because otherwise hands will be thrown. That's not what he said, but that's what I heard. So let's move on from there because that's the end of them. So then we see Maggie and Sarah talking, and of course Constantine is sneaking up behind, listening in. I said, "Do nobody ever see this man just eavesdropping?" I guess not, because they're talking, and Maggie's very lonely. She's missing Victor, something fierce. I always wanted to say that she's missing Victor, something fierce, and so she's just telling Sarah how much, the holidays is bringing all this up for her, and but it's going to be nice to have the family around. And Sarah, they're talking about the Horton tradition. They're just talking and catching up and about everything going on. And of course, Sarah is very concerned about Maggie, but Maggie's like, I'm going to be all right, but I just want um she just misses Victor. So then Sarah ends up leaving, right? And when she leaves, Maggie runs into Alex. So Constantine is still back there listening, y'all. And she tells Alex, we need to talk about Titan. And he said, ma'am, you're not a part of Titan. And she said, well, I own half of Victor's estate. So that makes money. So even though she doesn't have a say in Titan, she still is like, you brought Bella back. It's not doing the first issue costs more than the revenue we made. He said, yeah, because it's the first issue, so there was a lot of startup costs. Now it's not going to be that way. And so she's trying to talk to him about it and telling him he needs to make better decisions. And Alex he don't want to hear it. He just finished talking to Xander. Now he really didn't want to go to Maggie's place. Now he's like, you know what? I'm not coming over for Christmas. I don't like, all we do is fuss and fight. I'm cool on this. And she was like, no, please come over. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said anything. Justin wants to see you. He misses you. And Alex is like, he's just going to see Justin at a different time, but he's not going to put himself to deal with this. He doesn't like Xander. Him and Maggie butt heads a lot. So he's just like, I don't. Why am I putting myself through this? Count me and Teresa out. So he leaves, and so of course Maggie's upset, and then here comes Constantine, and he's like, "Oh, Maggie." And so they sit down and they start talking and everything, and he's telling her everything, about all the traditions they did in Greece and Victor, and she's laughing and she's having a good time because she really missing Victor. And here's this charming man, so she thinks, who's been listening to everything and knows her emotional buttons, and he's hitting them all, and so she's all feeling good and stuff, and she's like, oh well, why don't you come to me to the Hortons Christmas tree tradition and everything. And he was like, oh, I would love to. And she said, make that little thing, because he told her about this cake that his family used to make, and it was a game. And she said, he was like, oh, but my hotel only has a microwave. And she was like, no worries, come on over to the house. And so that's Constantine working his way back in, child. That's he worked his way back in. So, anyways, then Alex runs into Teresa and everything. She real shook up because Andrew, she could have got caught messing with Constantine, but thankfully Andrew is not going to turn her in because he's going to destroy the evidence and everything. So she tells Alex, oh, he was like, what's wrong with you? Something seems wrong. And she said, I'm just overwhelmed with all the Christmas shopping, all the stuff we have to do. And he was like, oh, you're going to be all right. And she was like, yeah, I am. She said, but I still need the Christmas shop. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then we gotta go to Maggie's, and I need to pick up stuff for that. And he said, "Don't even worry about it. We're not going to that." And he explained, and she was like, "Okay, then cool." And so she's like, "But I'm gonna go Christmas shopping and finish my last bit up, and I'll meet you at our place." And he was like, "Okay." So he leaves, and then she's on the phone, and she gets a call from Constantine, and she tells him, I'm not helping you anymore. And he said, yes, you is. You don't have a choice. You will, and you can, and you will continue to help me. And that's how it went off with them, y'all. So then we go over here with Sarah and Xander. They're trying to, they've met up with each other. She wants to take the baby to the Horton family tradition. And he was like, well, it's the baby's first Christmas Eve. I'm not sentimental like this. But she was like, it's the baby's first Christmas Eve. I wanted to spend time with him. And she was like, but it's the Horton tradition. And he was like, okay, but then drop the baby off tonight so I can have her in the morning. I said, can't you see the baby tomorrow? I don't know. It wasn't that big of a deal. Okay. And so then she said, but then I won't get to see her on Christmas morning. He was like, well, I'm giving her for Christmas Eve. I said, it's Christmas Eve. It's not that big of a deal to me. To me. Okay, but we're going to go along with this. And then Sarah says, this is not working. How about you just come over to the Hortons tradition and all? I said, yeah, I'm okay. Get them together and leave me out of the group chat. I'm tired of these two. But that's what they're going to end up doing. Just put these two back together again. That's what y'all want to do. That's what they want as well. Just put them back together again. Sick of it. Let's move on. So then we see Jada and Rafe. He's asking her to move in, and Jada reminiscing about that old thing. Too much for me. Like, girl, every time Rafe talks to you now, you're talking about your ex. And she was like, we were doing so well, and then all of a sudden we weren't good, and we decided to move on, and I haven't really heard from him since then, which makes sense if he was in that car wreck and he had moved on with Steph. I don't know what's going on with this whole Everett and Jada thing, but she keep thinking about him. Does he know she's in Salem? Like, what is happening? I have no clue. Because at this point, I don't even believe that Everett was in a coma that long, because he seems all kind of shady to me. But y'all tell me what you think in the comments. So Jada is just like, so I don't know about, because Rafe is like, girl, you gonna move in with me or not? She said, I don't really want to mess up what we got. I enjoy it. I enjoy you coming over to my place, and then when we're done, you can go ahead and get your stuff and you can leave. I enjoy going over to your place, and then when I'm done, I can go get my stuff and I can leave. And our relationship is working right now. I don't want to put the pressure of us moving in together. I said, I see it, Jada. And so she says no, but she still wants him. He still ends up giving her a key and all that, and because y'all know Rafe is thirsty. That's it, child. That's it. Let's move on. So then we go over here to Trip and Wendy. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I was in and out on these two. I like Trip. I like Wendy. But together, this is one of the most boringest couples on this show. I was in and out with them, but she was talking about her family's tradition with apples and everything, and he was talking about his family and everything. And then he ends up getting her an apple, and she was like, "Thank you so much, Trip. It's been a hard year for her without her brother." Then her mother ends up calling her, and she tells her that she needs her to come on back home because her daddy is not doing well. Like, his health is deteriorating since finding out about Lee's death, and she needs Wendy's help. So I don't know if Wendy gonna be on the show. I don't know. She not that, because for them to want her to come home, she's not that. She doesn't have a storyline. So if she leaves the show, what are we gonna miss? Her being Tripp's girlfriend? She doesn't have a storyline like that. So I don't know, child. Y'all tell me what you think. And that's all I got for you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you tomorrow for a new episode of What Happened on the Soaps Days of Our Lives edition. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.